so that stake is there.
Mine's about this far from the edge. I mean, that's okay, but
yeah, well, that's where the bricks are going to go.
Yeah.
We're going to set a brick underneath that corner there.
Mhm.
So
a little one.
now we're going to set one underneath that corner. But we got to level them up first.
Bricks.
Yeah, we got to use the string and that thing, the hose, to level it up. So just looking at it, your side is higher than mine.
Yeah.
So actually I would like you to put your brick behind there so we can just lift it up on top and not have to lift it over.
Do you want it?
The brick right here on this side.
I know. Do you want it just like it is, Leanne?
Just like it is. And I'm going to put my brick on that side too. But we have to be able to find level as to so I'm going to tie a string right about here.
Purple.
So this is going to be the 0 point line. So anytime I ask you to
Level up, put my line of the water on that, right?
yeah, because that board, this board will have to be in line with that. Keep this string over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the water, that hose. Make sure that this string stays straight. So this corner here is going to be our 0 point of level. We're going to have to actually dig this down.
How far?
I'd say the thickness of that brick.
Right there?
Yeah. Just the length and the thickness of that brick so we can set that brick down a little bit flush with the ground because set that brick down in there, see how far.
You want that out?
Yeah, go ahead and get that out. Because this right here is going to sit in this cubby right here.
Okay.
You get it? Alright, so we need to dig a little bit further down. So all that's got to come out.
Already dug down, it's just getting pulled out.
All right. Think that's good enough for city worker work?
It's fucking better than city worker work.
So,
We'll fill that with dirt.
yeah. Let's get a little bit more out of there.
Okay.
I think this end right here is a little rounded. All right. That's better. Okay. So, this is our new 0 point right here.
Okay.
Actually, I would say, yeah, let's use that as a 0
Okay.
point because that's where the next brick is going to have to be leveled off with. So I got the first reference line done on the land here as far as it being level and straight and even, and that green line there is the indicator of how far off we are here. I'm completely at ground level here on this side, and over here that line runs all the way over here that high. So I did put a level to that line, and it's true and accurate. That is the level line. So what I did was I used this this hose as a leveling system, because water will always find level, and if you can see the air bubbles there, the water lines there, whether I move one higher or lower, it's going to find level eventually. So it doesn't matter how long that line is. This system works. It took us a little bit to figure it out, but it's accurate. I mean, it is so accurate that I can't argue with it, because I did put the level to that string, and boy, we got a lot of filling in to do to get this thing true and level, and it only gets worse. You know, you can see how far down here the ground line is. This is my 0 point, and if I come all the way over here, we pretty much measured it out, and I've got a stake in the ground right here, and that pencil mark right there, right here, is my level mark at the end of that hose. So I've got, you know, a good 28 inches of height that I'm at to fill in. I still have to level up that side. So, ooh-wee, what to do here. This is a definitely uneven ground here, and I mean, I know it's going to be a lot of work filling this in. I know it's going to be a lot of leveling. I mean, we can't bring an excavator in here to level this out. So just seeing with this, I mean, with just this level on this land, with just the sawhorses, you know, that's our 0 point. We want to level up to that. That's how many blocks I had to put on that side to get it to level. So, I mean, levels don't lie. that's pretty spot on. So it's easy to see just with that small scale of it being that far off, that it's going to do the same thing over here. Man, a little bit of a bind here because I don't know what to do. So it's like the land is not very forgiving. I guess we could literally build it at the contour of the land, and that may be our option, is to build it with the contour of the land and just level it up to the contour of the land as much as possible. But I think that's going to be our option, is just to build it with the contour of the land down. The problem I have is everything's got to be on blocks, because we're using untreated wood, and that wood cannot be exposed to the ground elements because of the nature of the ground. That ground is pretty corrosive to pieces of wood. It'll destroy it'll eat that wood up. So everything's got to be up. So I guess my only option is to build it to the contour of the land. I mean, it's level it up on the top as best as I can, so that the roof structure is not completely cattywampus. But definitely not bringing an excavator in. Definitely not digging up all this ground with roots and rocks and all that stuff. But this is our site. This is a site that it's going to have to go into, and we're going to have to figure it out. So we'll see what happens. The build goes on. We need a greenhouse. There's going to be a greenhouse here. So no matter what happens, there is going to be a greenhouse on this site. I don't have another site available, and anything else would be way more work. So it just gets fun at this point. So it's what happens when you are dealing with nature, with the lay of the land. I mean, we're living on a mountain at 8,800, close to 8,900 feet. And there just aren't any developed pieces of property or pieces of land up here that are ready for a flat structure. So we'll get it done. So we finally got 3 of the walls up for the greenhouse, kind of half-ass up. Had to,
look at the height of the walls.
yeah, they're 8-foot walls. This section is going to be 8 foot, but the rest of it we're going to step it down to 6 foot, because we have all that to contend with. So we're going to have to build it to the contour of the land from here on out. But phase 1 of the greenhouse is up. We got walls. It's starting to look like something other than just a
Pile of walls.
big sandbox that we've been digging in for 4 days, playing in. But all right, just a little update on the greenhouse. All right, a little more progress on the greenhouse today. We're building it in a step pattern to contour the ground, where this side, the ceiling, the wall structure is a little bit taller than this side, but it's still level across. So we're having to build to the contour of the land. The next one goes down. It'll be a step down, and the next row of wall structure will sit on top of that brick and run down to the end over there. And the same thing with that side. That side will keep the same height, and then we'll just fill in with dirt down there. But we're moving along with it. It's still coming along. I got 2 more walls up, and hopefully we can seal it up and start putting a roof on it in the next few days. But a lot of digging, a lot of rocks. When you have to dig out rocks this big, those are some, you pry and try to get around it, and come to find out it's a monster that big down there. But it's coming along okay. More work. Got 1 more wall to build. We got to build the west wall that will occupy where the door will be, and that door will be right around this section here, as that wall runs that way. But I apologize for the wind. It is extremely windy out here today. We went into the big city of Santa Fe yesterday, and we had to pick up some lumber. This is the progress I've made on the greenhouse as far as getting the walls up. Still got to. I'm going to be working on the roof joist, and trying to configure those. I've kind of got a little outline of what I'm trying to do here, because I've got to start from up there, work over here, and then drop them down to the 5.5 foot height here, and over here is 7 foot because of I'm following the contour of the land here, which is a very difficult thing to do. But we had to go into Santa Fe yesterday and pick up some more wood. So I've got a whole lot of wood to unload, and didn't have a red flag, so we used a knee sleeve to make us legal driving down the road, because those are 16 footers. But 4x4s will be for the foundation to mount them to the ground, and then we've just got to get all this put together. It's like a big kit that I've got together in my head that doesn't actually work on paper, but I don't know that I could have done it with paper. It's a big greenhouse. I mean, it's a huge greenhouse. You can see how windy it is right now. This is nothing compared to how windy it normally is. So reinforcing this thing is going to be something that I'm going to have to do, because we can get gusts up to 70 mile an hour, 70, 75 mile an hour. Sometimes they come in from the valley down there. The valley's right through there, and that is the north. So we get those north winds. That mountain right there, it can produce some pretty torrential winds that we have to deal with. That's going to be coming from the northwest, and those winds get pretty hellacious. But so everything's going to have to be beefed up as far as structure-wise, because when we put plastic on this thing, it's going to become a big parachute for these winds, and so hopefully tomorrow, I know over the next 4 or 5 days, I'll be working on the roof system, and then wherever there's a cinder block right there, we have to put a 4x4. I'm going to go 24 inches deep, concrete it to the ground, and then bolt it to the bolted to the lag bolted to the structure, so that we have a solid foundation. But right now nothing is tied down. It was just a matter of mocking it up and getting it to take the contour of the land that we're building on. So like I said, I don't know whether I'm doing it right or wrong, but I know the more I beef it up, the more it won't matter. So it's a greenhouse. It's not like anybody's going to be living in here. Our food will be in here, but I don't think that there's any kind of structural integrity that I need to go by other than common sense and saying, okay, if the wind blows this way, where's my weak point? So there's going to be a lot of figuring out here as far as understanding where to beef it up. But I mean, it's a hell of a hill. If you can, I don't know if that does it any justice. So from here to over there, where that other wall is, there's a hell of a slope that I'm dealing with here. You can see where I've kind of had to slope it down bit by bit, just stepping it down in order for it to line up. So here's another step down that I had to make. But it's just, you know, we're not going to put a floor in here, so that was the big problem. Over here is the low point. This is the lowest point right here. So the biggest problem was getting it to take the contour of the land and make it level from here all the way to the top there. So that is level. I did use a water level, which is just a tube filled with water. All right, so I'm starting to put up my rafters up finally. Kind of got a definitely gonna have to put a support here in the middle, but that's 8 foot plus 55 inches, so that's a pretty good pitch I have on that roof there because of the snow, and hopefully that pitch will deflect a lot of the wind as well too, because this is right around this valley area here. There's a lot of uprising wind that comes through there. So definitely moving along with the greenhouse. A lot of work to do yet, but it's a process. I just had to run into town to get screws, and ended up having to cut a tree up because the tree fell across the road up here. We had a hell of a windstorm last night. I really didn't get any sleep at all last night because that wind was just blowing so hard. It was uncomfortable. I've got probably about 2 hours of sleep, but I'm fine. So just gonna keep working until it gets a little bit cooler. That wind is still blowing. Shade's coming down here, so it'll start biting here in a little bit. I know Texas, where I'm from, is having about 115 degree heat indexes today, and we're up here at 64 degrees. So I'm definitely not missing that weather. But all right, we'll get back to you guys and give an update here as soon as I can get all those ceiling rafters up and get this looking like a building of sorts. So we'll talk to you later. All right, update on the greenhouse build. I got the first 4 rafters up. It's kind of tall. I'm struggling with height here because I only got a 10-foot ladder and I'm about 16 foot up. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but now I just got to get 18 more rafters made and put into place, and hopefully I don't die doing it. Nikki's helping me not die by holding the ladder so I don't die. But because of the snow, we have to have such a drastic pitch that I didn't expect it to be that high, but it's pretty high up there. So big roof for a greenhouse, but we need a lot of pitch, so it's still coming along. Any words about the greenhouse?
Yeah, it's big. It's I think it's the biggest greenhouse I've ever seen. It's the only greenhouse I've ever built, but or that Albert's built that I've held ladders for. But yeah, so we're gonna have lots of growing space in there, obviously, and apparently we're gonna put in a pool and a slide.
No,
Just
we're
kidding.
not. We're not putting any of that. This is for food and food only.
Food, and there will actually be some respite in there, little respite spaces. So it's not just going to be ground food. There's going to be things hanging from the wall, things hanging from the ceiling. It'll be decorative as much as it is. It'll be a place of relaxation as much as it is a place to grow food. So
Yeah,
that's why it's so big.
all right. Update. Tomorrow there will be 18 more rafters up there. So 16, whatever. Yeah.
A shit ton.
Yeah, there's more. But I got to make them first. So, all right. Take care.